Lesedi, your fund is recognized as one of the pioneers promoting pension fund investments across Africa, allocating 14%, which is one of the highest on the continent for investments across Africa. Tell us about your strategy and recommendations on how other pension funds can work together to invest in Africa's capital markets.
Thank you, Lady Chair. For the first time, I've been chaired by men. At least I'll be able to share this stage with a woman. The fund is basically 48 billion in terms of assets. Last year when I came here, I did announce that we are working on a new IPS. I'm happy to announce that the new IPS has been launched into the market. It is actually bringing out new products and very exciting products into the mix, both in Botswana and globally. If you look at the new the asset allocation, we used to have 30% locally in Botswana and 70% offshore. We have revised the asset allocation and actually now bring 10% back into the African continent. Now, coming back to the question, as the BPOPF, we invest way more than 14% in the African region. I think it's important that we talk about our product portfolio so that we can understand where it is that the mix that actually comes from. The first portfolio that we have is the wealth accumulation portfolio, which we name the active and deferred pensioner portfolio. The second being the capital preservation portfolio is a new portfolio which we launched this year called the pre-retirement switch portfolio. This is actually geared towards members that are retiring, nearing the retirement age. And then we have the third one being the capital drawdown portfolio. This is the one that is geared to members who have got a higher risk appetite, called with profit pensioner portfolio. And lastly, the capital drawdown portfolio for members that have got a less appetite, called the non-profit portfolio. I think coming back to the question, in aggregate, for all the four portfolios that I've just outlined, 41% is invested in Botswana, with a further 15 to 16% allocated to outside Botswana, but within the African continent. I'll speak more to the results of the investment policy statement because it's something that is worth sharing insofar as the new strategy is concerned. On the unlisted equity space, the unlisted space has so much untapped opportunities, and it is on that backdrop that we have decided to have a Botswana private equity mandate. Our intention here is to have 2 private equity managers running the country's specific private equity fund. You'll believe with me that even though the funds are anchor sponsored by the BPOPF, we have an agreement with the general partners to have the funds open to other investors from outside, including even outside Africa. And I invite fellow African pension funds to participate in the Botswana growth story. I want to tap into the infrastructure because it's something that we have not been doing in Botswana. We have a specific infrastructure fund solely for Botswana. The infrastructure investment gap is quite huge, and investors can actually get private equity kind of returns on infrastructure development projects, and that excites us as Botswana because this is a new venture that we haven't been tapped into. We believe that the collaboration with other African countries is an opportunity because, one, these infrastructure projects create employment for Botswana, or even if it's within the African continent, it creates employment for the responsible citizens in those countries, and actually creates value in the way in which we do things. And there's also visibility, because if you talk about infrastructure, energy, buildings out there, it's things that the pension funds can relate to. And we believe that having a structure such as this one, as pension funds, we can significantly contribute towards the GDP in our respective areas. I would like to lastly talk about, yes, another new product that we have, the bond market, and that given our limited investable opportunities in terms of the bond issuance in Botswana, we have tapped into the inflation-linked South African bonds. It's an exciting product. We believe that some of our neighboring countries, especially in Africa, should exercise such proxy investing where conditions are similar. So no matter what the asset class is, I was just talking about the new products that we have introduced as per the new investment policy statement. There are other products that you could look at in our website, but these are the ones that are really quite exciting because the tenders are out for institutional investors to come and partner with us. It's an open tender where you just go into our website, www.bpopf.co.bw. We are excited to get more partners into this space to assist us because even some of the African countries and even globally, insofar as the infrastructure projects, we believe that we can do more. I would like to thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to ask, how much investment are the pension funds here prepared to make in infrastructure funds, for example, for a regional infrastructure fund, not local, national funded like in Botswana, but for example, for East Africa. There is a community out there. There are also West African possibilities. So are you restricted from investing in a dollar-based fund of that sort? And if not, I would like to talk to you.
For Botswana, because we are a very small country in terms of population, only 2 million, we have allocated 2.5% to Botswana. And like I talked about the revised asset allocation from 10% from global back to Africa, we are allocating 7.5% for infrastructure in Africa. Thank you.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.